Wow. Yo, YouTube, really YouTube today. What's up? This is crazy. Yeah, some of them should have gone. We're just going to kind of continue where we left off. YouTube is YouTube, and they keep taking our stream down. So I'm gonna read this last little bit again.
I ain't got the link yet.
You should have. It just went out. Go to YAH'S assembly. You'll see it. It says, "And the dead in Mashiach shall rise first. Rise." In Hebrew can mean to stand up, be established, or be restored to life. While resurrection is a literal belief in Jewish thought, the idiom here also carries a national restoration theme. The faithful who sleep will be reawakened or vindicated when Elohim intervenes. To Hebrew ears, it invoked both spiritual renewal and future bodily resurrection. I got to try to get through before they try to kick us out again.
I bet it was that Natasha girl who did that.
She just subscribed. Yeah. Summary of idiomatic meanings, right? And it tells you the same thing. The same thing, just so you can see. It says, in short, the Israelites and early Hebrew-minded believers would have understood this verse through the lens of prophetic idioms, a vivid description of God or Yah's dramatic intervention and resurrection power, not a literal meteorological descent or trumpet sound. It's the language of covenant renewal, divine kingship, and resurrection hope expressed in classic Hebrew imagery. That's the truth. And so now I'm going to show y'all who created this pre-tribulation rapture nonsense. So hold on. Fair use. This is also for educational and training purposes. Please subscribe to Truth Unedited.
Oh, yeah, that girl, she could be a bot.
Could be.
I've been discussing a great deal about the truth about Bible prophecy. And in the middle of this discussion, those that are tied to the falsehood of the pre-tribulation rapture, many of them that still come to these videos, they still have this influence that they can't shake off of them. I have a video that I'm about to put out dealing with the overall falsehood and danger about the pre-tribulation rapture. But in order to deal with it, I want to make sure that this understanding is here for anyone who needs some clarity on the beginning on how this doctrine was created. I don't want to go all deep into it as I have already done this, but I think it's important that I give a brief summary on how John Nelson Darby created dispensationalism and the pre-tribulation rapture, so anyone who wants to research this on their own can do so. The pre-tribulation rapture can be summarized under the overall doctrine and teachings of dispensationalism. John Nelson Darby is known as the father of dispensationalism. Dispensationalism is the theological doctrine that this man, John Nelson Darby, created. This started in the early 19th century in Albury, England. Henry Drummond, a wealthy banker and politician, he opened his home at Albury Park to a select group of 20 invited guests to discuss matters of prophecy. From this point, prophetic conferences were held at Albury each year until 1830. Now, please note that this is at the time of the Rothschilds' enormous power and reach. This was during the time of Napoleon and how the Rothschilds gained their enormous wealth. According to the Jewish Virtual Library, in 1796, Napoleon was appointed commander of the French army in Italy. Following his victories in the battlefield, he was sent in 1798 to conquer Egypt with the intention of going on to take India from the British. It's said that he's the one that took off all the noses of the Sphinx and everything. Anyway, he invaded the Holy Land and seized control of the coastal strip up to Acre. His army was stopped from gaining more ground by Ottoman forces backed by the British. During the siege, he prepared a proclamation, actually a letter to the Jewish nation, expressing his belief that the time had come for the rightful heirs of Palestine to seize the moment, which may not return for thousands of years, and restore your political existence as a nation among the nations, and the unlimited natural right to worship Jehovah in accordance with your faith, publicly and most probably forever. Napoleon expected to occupy Acre and move on to Jerusalem, where he would issue the proclamation, which was dated April 20th, 1799, the first day of Passover. It didn't happen. However, because he was forced to retreat from Acre on May 22nd, 1799, it subsequently left the Holy Land. A year later, on August 16th, 1800, Napoleon declared, If I governed a nation of Jews, I should reestablish the Temple of Solomon. And I say all that to say that this goal of rebuilding the temple, it was already being talked about when this meeting at Albury Park, led by Henry Drummond, the wealthy banker at the time, when the Rothschilds were a leading banking family of the world, it was already being talked about at this time. But obviously the full agenda did not come to fullness yet. So Henry Drummond had these meetings, and they were held at his estate each year until 1830. Now, starting in 1831, these annual meetings of prophecy began to be held in County Wicklow, Ireland. These meetings were held at Powerscourt Estate. You see, earlier, Lady Powerscourt had attended Henry Drummond's prophecy conferences at Albury Park, and then brought the conferences to her castle. It was at these meetings where the pre-tribulation rapture doctrine was established. On the Brethren Archive site, this is John Nelson Darby's organization, it has a list of the subjects that were had at the Powerscourt meeting from 1830 to 1841. Like he shows, the first year in 1830 in the evening, they discussed the restoration of the Jews, including the subject of covenants. In 1831, Thursday, October 6th, they discussed the last great and terrible conflict at the coming of Christ. Who's the power that heads it? Against whom? Signs by which this power to be known. Proof whether saints to suffer in it. These annual meetings, which took place over a span of over a decade, is where the pre-tribulation rapture doctrine was created. This is where it was made. And John Nelson Darby was made to be the face of it. We truly do not know what exactly went on in that castle, but we do know the doctrine that came from it. And it is this doctrine that the modern day church holds on to with great hope. This is what everyone that believes in the pre-tribulation rapture, this is where this doctrine comes from. Now look, I don't like interjecting my own points that are not proven, but I do want to make sure I add this because it needs to be said. When these people in England were having these discussions, this was at the time of known Rothschild power in the world, especially in Europe. There were many different things occurring during these years. This is my interjection. I believe that this doctrine of Christianity that everyone believes in today, which is known as Christian Zionism, I believe it was created by the Rothschild family in order to lead the world to their plans. The same ones who assisted with the creation of the state of Israel are the ones who helped establish the Christian doctrine to get the world ready to support their agenda. This was always a goal of theirs, and these meetings were had in amongst these wealthy families like the Drummonds. They used these people to create the mindset and doctrinal beliefs that the Protestant Christian church has today. It was all led by these same powerful families. It is important that you know where your doctrine comes from. But let's keep talking about Darby. People have heard the name John Nelson Darby and that he created the rapture, but it didn't happen all at once. All these influences over time had led to the creation of this doctrine. John Nelson Darby was well educated and had a ministry in the Church of England up until 1826. After a series of circumstances, Darby broke with the Anglican Church in 1828-1829, envisioning a spiritual church joined to a heavenly Christ, indwelt and empowered by the Holy Spirit and awaiting their Lord's return. Darby soon began to teach openly an Israel church distinction and a two-stage distinction in the second coming of Christ. This included a quiet appearance of Christ to remove all true Christians from the earth. That's the presence of Christ. Followed by the removal of the restraining work of the Holy Spirit from the earth and the reign of Antichrist, after which would be the public appearing of Christ in glory. Darby believed not only in the future conversion of the Jews, but also restoration to their homeland. By taking promises to both Israel and the church literally, Darby thought that God's single plan of salvation is harmonized for God's two peoples, Israel and the church. Israel, God's earthly people, are destined to rule over the nations with Christ before their resurrection. The church, God's heavenly people, will reign with Christ in the same kingdom, but in resurrection bodies. Darby's distinction between God's plan for Israel and the church formed the doctrine of the pre-tribulation rapture of the church. Darby then traveled widely in Europe and Britain in the 1830s and 1840s and founded the exclusive Brethren. He gave 11 significant lectures in Geneva in 1840 on the hope of the church. These established his reputation as a leading interpreter of biblical prophecy. He is noted in the theological world as being the father of dispensationalism. You might look up the definition of dispensationalism, and it would say, dispensationalism views history as divided into distinct periods in which God interacts with mankind in a specific way. Dispensationalism is the foundation of how this doctrine has been created. The crucial feature of dispensationalism is the distinction between Israel and the church. This is where replacement theology comes from. And this is at the heart of the divide of how the truth of understanding Yah has been divided, which is why most people that follow this doctrine have no true understanding of truly what the Bible actually says and what it warns of. Dispensationalism is the foundation of it. And the pre-tribulation rapture is just mixed right at the heart of it. But let's get back to Darby. Darby made 7 trips to the United States and Canada between 1862 and 1877, spending a total of 7 of those 16 years in America. He spent most of that time in Canada in 4 American cities, New York, Boston, Chicago, and St. Louis, where many early leaders of American dispensationalism lived. Pastors James Hall Brooks, 1830 to 1897 of Walnut Street Presbyterian Church, St. Louis, and A.J. Gordon, 1836 to 1895 of Clarendon Street Baptist Church, Boston. These men were patriarchs of American dispensationalism who came under Darby's influence. It was through the ministry of men like them, more so than Darby, that dispensationalism spread in America. And one of those men was Cyrus Scofield. He's one of the main leaders of dispensationalism in modern Christianity in America today. Darby's beliefs were picked up and made popular in the United States by Cyrus Scofield's Scofield Reference Bible. Scofield authored the pamphlet, Rightly Dividing the Word of Truth, in 1888, and soon became a leader in the American church. His doctrines are what we know today as 20th century Christian fundamentalism, and it is the basis and foundation of mainstream Christianity in America. Tim LaHaye's Left Behind series is shaped by the 1909 Scofield Reference Bible. This is a very condensed history of how this doctrine was created. What this is supposed to do is give anyone that desires to do their own independent research. There's enough nuggets here that anyone that desires to understand the truth can simply take these things mentioned and do your own research. John Nelson Darby created dispensationalism, which is where the doctrine of the pre-tribulation rapture comes from. The doctrine of the pre-tribulation rapture is completely man-made doctrine. You will not find this doctrine spelled out simply for you like most other Bible prophecy. You will not find this doctrine or promise anywhere in the Old Testament. This is why these false teachers, they like to call it a mystery. Imagine the prophecy about Messiah being so choppy, though. The prophecy about the restoration of Israel is not dicey and is very clear-cut. I've spoken about it many times on this channel. I have a list of the scriptures right here. This is the PDF. In the description box, you can find a link to download it. All of this doctrine, dispensationalism and pre-tribulation rapture, it's man-made doctrine. It was doctrines made up by powerful men with agendas. And then it was just spread so that you could believe it today. Remember what Paul said, "Beware lest anyone cheat you through philosophy and empty deceit, according to the tradition of men, according to the basic principles of the world, and not according to Messiah." Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Only those who don't care about the truth will dismiss this information and say it doesn't matter. You were trained to believe what you do. You were conditioned and indoctrinated to believe in the pre-tribulation rapture. They taught you how to look at these scriptures and who to apply it to because you are a part of a satanic conspiracy. The pre-tribulation rapture doctrine is just man-made doctrine that has just gained credibility over the last 2 centuries. It is not biblically accurate or sound, and those who get caught waiting for it to happen, they will not be ready for what Yah truly will be doing. It's time for those who love Yah to wake up and be attached to his truth, not Christian dogma, but the truth found in the scriptures. So it is all our responsibility to read it and live through it. So make sure that that is what you do. What Yah plans to do for his children is wonderful, and you don't need to make any false stories and have false hope to be a part of it. You just need to truly believe, keep his commandments, and live according to his will. These are our days to redeem. So please, forget about the doctrines of men and live for the promises of Yahuwah. But you now have a summary of John Nelson Darby. You, please, be ready. For the kingdom of Yahuwah is truly at hand. Be ready for it. And be blessed.
In Chat GPT, we can see that there was a pattern. All those pastors were of the same hue and color, not trying to make this about race or anything. Yeah. But we're not included in that. Even in most of the Left Behind and all these other type movies. And when you really start breaking stuff down and start opening and stuff starts getting revealed to you, you're like, man, what have we been taught this whole time? That's why it's so important to be relearning, right? Constantly. You have to, because you have to conform it to the image of Mashiach, which is going to be ever learning. You're going to keep showing you more things, and the more we wake up, the harder it's going to be for them to deceive us. But right now, there's a lot of people that, like, I saw some videos where people were leaving the faith altogether because the rapture didn't happen, crashing out. Like, I'm like, man, y'all need to read y'all book and stop trusting in man.
Exactly.
Renew your doggone mind, because the only version of a rapture that has ever happened, if we're really talking about it, so when Noah was on the ship, that was an actual rapture. That was Noah and his family. What happened to the world?
Perish.
When the children of Israel were leaving Egypt, what happened? The Most High slaughtered their firstborn, and then Pharaoh and them tried to follow them to the sea. And what happened? Slaughtered them. That is the rapture. That is the pattern of the scriptures. The blood covenanted people of the Most High, once they finally humble themselves and pray and seek his face and turn from their wicked ways and cry out to the Most High, he sends a Ga'al. What does Ga'al mean? A kinsman redeemer. That's the prophecy of Jacob. Like, all of this stuff is intertwined. So he wouldn't change his pattern going to the New Testament. How could that change when the whole book of Judges is him showing that he raises a Ga'al of the same people? Just like he told Moses he would. We'll raise a prophet or a leader unto you of your own people. And we keep looking to other people for salvation. Like, y'all need to chill out.
Yeah.
Humble yourself, pray, seek Yahuwah's face, right? Turn from your wickedness, and let's be saved. The only thing is, with like what Elder Bernard be talking about, we got to be a cod in this prayer with one consent. Like, hey, it's time for you to redeem us, because the bride, we've been bidden to this marriage, and doggone it, like, if he don't come back, like, the stuff that they got planned for us, it ain't gonna be pretty. And the thing about it is, so we talked about this before, if you're not a millionaire, they got the same plans for you as well. Race not included. They don't care. Oh, you not? Oh, you poor then. Oh, we got you. Don't even worry about it. You better take whatever I say you're gonna take. What did he say? What did he say? You'll have nothing and you'll like it, or something like that. Carl Schwab, he said something like that. You'll own nothing and you'll like it, or something strange. Just like no, we gonna make y'all do this. Like, man, who is you? Is you the Father in heaven? Like, what is you talking about? So the rapture is not about saving good Catholics or good Christians or good anything like that. It's really about the regathering of Israel, right? And we weren't going to read Luke 21, verse 7 through 28, but we're just going to skip that, and we're going to go to Isaiah 27. And if you don't mind, just read this, and we'll just call it, right?
In that day, the Most High, with his sword and great and strong sword, shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea.
The sea is nations, right? Okay.
In that day sing ye unto her a vineyard of red wine. I, the Most High, do keep it. I will water it every moment. Let any hurt it. I will keep it night and day. Fury is not in me. Who would set the briars and thorns against me in battle? I will go through them. I will burn them together. Or let him take hold of my strength, that he may make peace with me, and he shall make peace with me.
So you see, he said, because I know you know what the video I'm about to show, that he's going to kill this serpent in the end, destroy this serpent, right? So, there's something that happened in Mexico here recently. It's a quick little video just on that. Just that alone. Not
Sure.
Yeah, just not everything. Fair use, again, this is for educational and training purposes.
El día de ayer, miércoles 27 de agosto del 2025, muchas personas reportaron el avistamiento de un objeto cayendo del cielo
Alright y'all, so I came across this video on TikTok and I couldn't be more pumped. Every once in a while they come through and it's just awesome when they do. I'm super excited. Take a look and look closely. Take your time and let me know what you think it is.
un cometa. Incluso antes de las 7 de la noche reportan un sonido, un estruendo muy fuerte que se alcanza a escuchar en muchos lugares de Oaxaca, pero también incluso de otros estados. Hay videos donde se observa el objeto como va cayendo, este bólido, parece ser un meteorito, y muchas personas empezaron a especular que este objeto habría caído.
And the gentleman that filmed it lives in Oaxaca, Mexico. He was driving down the highway when he spotted this thing falling out of the sky. I'm super pumped about this one. It's awesome. Truly amazing that he caught this video. It is a once in a lifetime capture. I hadn't seen it circulating at all on TikTok. It was all in Spanish, as you can hear, and it was all Spanish people commenting on it. I don't know that they figured out exactly what it is, but I pretty much instantly saw it. It's what you probably think it possibly looks like if you open the mind and actually believe in things like this. To me, it was instantly obvious. It's on fire. This thing got in a battle way up in the sky with another one and lost. And what's cool is he located where it landed on the ground, and he went to go and look at it and check out the scene. He was immediately stopped, detoured to another road where he could not see the object. But then it looks like he was smart enough to go get a drone and fly it over the burning object. And you can tell blatantly, even though it's burning, even though it's covered in smoke, what it is. So if you look closely here, when they fly the drone over the crash site, you can see a small hook, which is what you'll find at the crest of a dragon's wing. I also feel that in the video, if you look closely, you can see some of its phalanges coming up out of the smoke, and then you can possibly see its feet and maybe its head in some portion. It's hard to tell because it probably had been burning for quite a while. There's no doubt in my mind what that was a dragon. Absolutely crazy stuff. Watch it again now that you know. Let me know what you guys think.
El día de ayer, miércoles 20.
Be aware, and this is not the time to be falling short of the glory of the Most High. This is not the time to be a part of apostasy or falling away. We got to lean in closer to the Most High.
El día de
His
ayer,
covenant. Verse 6, and it says, he shall cause them that come of Jacob to take root. Israel shall blossom and bud and fill the face of the world with fruit. So we're going to be everywhere. Hath he smitten him as he smote those that smote him? Or is he slain according to the slaughter of them that are slain by him? And measure, when it shooteth forth, you will debate with it. He stayeth his row wind in the day of the east wind. By this, therefore, shall the iniquity of Jacob be purged. That's why we got to be faithful to the Most High now. And this is all the fruit to take away his sin. When he maketh all the stones of the altar as chalk stones that are beaten in sunder, the groves and images shall not stand. If you worship another god, get rid of that stuff now. Don't wait until later. This is not the time to be caught in that dumb stuff. This ain't it. Yet the defenced city shall be desolate, and the habitation forsaken, and left like a wilderness. There shall the calf feed, and there shall he lie down and consume the branches thereof. When the boughs thereof are withered, they shall be broken off. The women come and set them on fire. For it is a people of no understanding. We don't want to be those people. That's why we're getting understanding tonight. We're not these people of no understanding. Therefore, he that made them will not have mercy on them. If you don't start getting an understanding, the Most High is not going to have mercy on us. Period. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Right? And he that formed them will show them no favor. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall beat off from the channel of the river unto the stream of Egypt, and you shall be gathered one by one, O you children of Israel. Ain't got nothing to do with Christians or Catholics or none of that. And it shall come to pass in that day that the great trumpet shall be blown, Feast of Trumpets. And they shall come which were ready to perish in the land of Assyria. So northern kingdom still over there. And the outcast in the land of Egypt, this time is bondage, and shall worship Yahuwah in the holy mount of or at Jerusalem. So again, at this great trumpet, we got to be ready because we're in the land of Egypt now, bondage. That's all I got. So don't fall for these deceptions no more. Ak, will you press out?
Abiyah, thank you for gathering us together today for another feast for you, Abba. Thank you for bringing us together safely. Thank you for this word, Abiyah. Thank you for the understanding and help us understand more, Abba, as we discern what's going on around us in this world that we live in. We pray that you stay with us and keep us protected as our faith grows stronger and stronger in you, and we will serve you and only you, Father.
Shalom. So we are Yehuda. This is YAH'S Assembly. So please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like and share our content. YouTube, we know you YouTube, and keep do you. And as always, until next time. Shalom, tribe. YouTube crazy, man.